I'm Alex.
And I'm Kirby.
And this is the Real Gamerscore podcast. We are your source for Xbox achievement news, Gamerscore tips, and baritone sex discussions. This week we talk about Week 3 or Bust, tricking your Xbox, and the theory that if it looks like a slot machine, plays like a slot machine, and sounds like a slot machine, you probably aren't gambling. But first, here's the song of the week. What happened to my completion? It disappeared with dives, it never made much sense. Playing games and earning chiefs. Wasting another night just earning Gamerscore. 1K done. 1K done. 1K done. Don't wanna play that gaming scar. One more unfinished accident. I'd rather not play them all. But I'll never play that gaming scar. Alright. Okay. That's all.
Now, so I'm pretty sure I know it. That makes me think I don't actually know it at all. It's Foo Fighters' Monkey Wrench.
You are correct.
I don't know if there's another name for that song. I'm pretty sure it's...
That's correct. No, that's right. Okay. That's exactly what it is. So, well, good job.
Man,
it wasn't too hard.
That first couple of lines, I'm like, I have no idea. But then I got it. Then it wrapped around into the realm of understanding.
In between the bars is...
Yeah. I'll see if I can get the music in there for you. That does sound like effort though, so probably not.
I was playing the music in my head as I went, and I'm like, yeah, I think I've got this timing all wrong. So you did well to get it.
Welcome back.
Despite that. Yeah, no, it's good to be back. Heard you all roasting me on episode 50?
I don't know what you're on about, actually. I don't think we mentioned you at all, to be honest.
Oh, I think you might have been leading the charge there.
Furthest thing from my mind.
Oh, I got a counterfeit episode, did I? Where everyone just happened to be roasting me for playing Rocket League.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I remember that one.
Funny story. In the reception after my wedding, Nicole did mention Rocket League.
Oh, in her speech?
Yeah, and how much she hates it.
I was going to say, she's not sure whether you love her or Rocket League more or something like that.
She didn't say that. She's just like, I think she was talking about things that we do differently. She's like, I do this, and Alex plays Rocket League.
And I do this.
Rocket League.
And Alex plays Rocket League. And I do this. And Alex plays Rocket League.
To answer your question, who kisses better, Nicole or the Cane Toad? It's not the Cane Toad. The Cane Toad was pretty good.
Cane Toad was pretty good.
Cane Toad is pretty good, yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. You had to give the Cane Toad a kiss before the race started, before you put him in the bucket.
Yeah.
My second race, I rode, I don't know if it's the right word, but that's what the guy who was running it kept saying. I rode a toad called Gay Freddo.
Mm-hmm. You jockeyed him, yeah.
I jockeyed him, yes. I didn't ride Gay Freddo, I jockeyed Gay Freddo. And that just sounds as bad. So I came second and won like you were saying, won a voucher and a bottle of wine. There were these people that were in the race that didn't win. I just gave a bottle of wine to them because I don't drink wine, so they were pretty happy. Like this dude from like Sweden or something, he was cooked, but I gave him a bottle of wine anyway, so, responsible service of alcohol. Anyway, enough about my wedding. If anyone wants to know about my wedding, you can just send me a message on Discord. Speaking of Discord, you can join us in Discord, and you could send me a message to say, hey, Alex, tell me about your wedding. I mean, that'd be weird if the first thing you said when you're in Discord was that, but feel free to. You can find an invite into our Discord at discord.io/realgamerscore. Probably bears reminding people, like I've said a number of times, if you're a new listener to the show and you don't know what Discord is, I use Discord on my mobile, but a lot of people use it mainly on their PC. It's a program or an app that you can use. You would join our server. You can come in, chat to people, hop into the different channels. You know, we've got all different ones in there, like for podcasts or general chat, or the Great True Achievement Score Challenge has its own channel. You know, we're all talking this, that, and the other thing in there. So it's probably the easiest way to get a hold of either of us.
Yeah.
If you need to, very
especially
quickly as
just
well.
if you want a quick response as well, because I'm not necessarily looking at my Xbox Live messages, or in fact, I've pretty much turned them off, so I don't see them on my Xbox at all.
I think you said that on one of the episodes, didn't you?
Yeah, because someone messaged me and I didn't respond. I'm like, oh, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I just have them turned off from when I streamed a lot, and I would occasionally get messages and I didn't want to see it. But, you know, Discord's great. It feeds us a lot of all your personal information, so we can customize the show for you. Like, you know, where you live and social security numbers, that sort of thing.
It's funny you say that, because Kronos published an episode of his podcast, Rampant Discourse.
I love that podcast.
Oh, yeah, I've been listening to it.
It's so, because it's almost completely not video game related, and I just love listening to him talk.
Yeah, he's a very considered and smart dude.
Oh,
I even listened to the episode where they were talking about politics, and I mean, there's probably not much I'd less rather hear about than politics. But listening to him, Paul,
yeah,
and
I'm
sorry, third person whose name escapes me. I know Andrew is Kronos, but
Andrew, Paul, and the book guy. You know who you are, book guy. No, he's not. He won't listen to the podcast, but book guy knows who he is.
Yeah. So the most recent episode I listened to was on social media, and Kronos is the privacy boy. He's like, "No, I want the privacy." So maybe don't be saying it takes all the.
It's not sending us your information, Kronos, but everyone else's.
Yeah.
You ticked the "please don't send my information" box. Yeah. Everyone else just went, "Yes, I've read the terms and conditions. I accept." That box was in the middle. As you were reading, you're like, "Oh, spotted it."
Well, if somehow we've convinced you to want to donate money to our cause in terms of Patreon, you can also head over there and check out the tiers at patreon.com/realgamerscore. Random to-do list giveaway.
Yes.
What are we doing with that?
You've been away for a while. And honestly, this has been the smoothest intro we've had this whole month.
I've been listening.
But the random to-do list giveaway, essentially you unlock an achievement in your random to-do list and answer the trivia question, the only other game with the word stranger in it, to have a chance at the prize.
Oh, yes.
Stranger Things 3, the game. I have 5 entries at the moment, so your odds are good.
Yeah, we're
maybe 6.
1 week away from the end of the month.
Yeah. We got... it honestly might be maybe Season 2 is when... The first episode of Season 2, because that'd be first week of the new month. I don't know. Maybe not, though.
That's a really good prize, though. I mean, for a Stranger Things fan, I actually quite like Stranger Things. I'm a couple episodes into Season 3. Once I finish it, I will be looking to go and play. Is that on... do we have a review for that as well?
We do have a... Yeah, we got a... Yeah, it's not scheduled, but it will be... Like, it's not queued up, but it's in the pile. We have to... When we dig our codes out at random, you know.
Yeah, when we think about doing that one, I'll throw my name in that. Anyway, so that's the random to-do list competition. We of course have the random to-do list contests, plural, going on. There's a contest where you just get a list of 25 random achievements from your pool of locked achievements, and you can play it for fun to help you guide you to get something to do. But our podcast, in conjunction with Achievement Hunting 101, running a contest as well. We've heard Chin talk about it. But we have 5 teams at the moment.
Yes.
If you do want to be considered to join a team, if you think you have what it takes, I'm not sure who it is to get in contact with to join the teams.
You can mention, if you're from our podcast, just mention it to us. If you listen to the AH101 and are in their Discord server, just chuck it in the random to-do list channel and you'll be added as a free agent, because that's currently how new people get in at the moment.
And the free agents will replace people that drop out of teams.
Yeah,
I understand.
Essentially each team has a substitute at the end of the month they can use. to maybe you're going to be working all next month, you're going to be real busy, so you get subbed out for a free agent of your team's choice, and they come in and replace you, essentially.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I think I've mentioned many an episode, my completion percentage is quite high. It has dropped since starting all these new games, but my pool, as it sits now, my pool of achievements to draw from is 1,003, and the minimum to get a list drawn for you is 1,000. So I have been for months adding games in that I have not started to try and get a list. I suspect August might be my last month, but I really kind of want to see it out for the 3-month competition period. But like I said, I will drop out at some point, so that'll be a spot on the Awesome Possums team.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat for that pool. I'm at like 1,600, and I just it's a struggle. Mate. It's a struggle, man.
You had one of the highest pools on the random to-do list going down. You've chopped everything out. Get your hand off it.
I know. I've had to join Team Filthy Curators. Myself and Rockadude being the prime heads of the team.
Rockadude got his full completion, I think.
Yes, he did.
Remember seeing
we're at a good. I think we are at 6 now.
I think it was 6 I saw. Yeah.
I believe I'll take a quick look, and it's pushed me out to like 7th on the board. That's awful.
Yeah, there's more...
First full combos in forever, and I'm not even like top 5. There are 7 full combos. All of them are in the top 7. So, going down the list, NBA Kirkland, Skeptical Mario, Jimbot UK, Matriarch, Freemhole, ChinDocta, and Rockadude 5012. So we have 1 from every team, but we have 3 from Mario Party. We don't have an awesome noise like
you were
the
tanking
Possums.
In the trial month of June, weren't you? You were tanking.
No, we had a couple members who did pretty much nothing, and that killed all of our motivation.
Yes. So, like I said, we've got the 5 teams over there. If you are interested, maybe get in touch in our random to-do list channel, or if you are in the Achievement Hunting 101 Discord, you can also get in touch in their random to-do list channel and express your interest to join. It is quite a competitive league, so if you think you're going to hop in and get, 10 or 15, that might not be enough. Just put it nicely like that.
You won't get picked up for a team.
Yeah. I guess, part of that, expressing your interest would be like, yeah, I'm interested. I've got a list. Look, I'm already on 20 and it's the first week of the month. That's probably going to put you at the top, because it's the captains get to choose who they want on their team from who's considered a free agent. So, anyway, we'll probably move on. We'll talk about the random to-do list in our roundups anyway. But this is episode 51. We're coming up to episode 51, which will be the end of our first season. We've been talking for a few weeks about making some changes to some segments. So we did talk, I think it was maybe 10 episodes ago, we first maybe mentioned that we were going to put a survey out, see what people liked, what people didn't like.
And we worked hard.
We didn't get around to it, so we're going to try and get that out
this weekend.
Hopefully this week, this
and then
weekend
it'll be
better.
Hopefully it'll end just before season 2. I was thinking episode 53, season 2, and then we'll do probably a normal episode for season 2, and then go into the new stuff.
Yeah. So we don't want to get into too many specifics on the changes this episode, but as people have probably guessed or probably noticed, planting hasn't been around. So we start recording at about 8 o'clock at night, Melbourne time. Mm-hmm. And for planting, that was was it 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.? I can't remember.
It would have been about 5:36-ish, depending on when we started.
So I certainly appreciate the struggle of getting out of bed early, but to get out of bed extra early to be on the podcast.
And make sure that he's ready for work afterwards.
Yeah. So there was a few times where we talked too much and he ran off in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So he will only come on maybe as a guest every once in a while, because it is pretty tough, and we certainly appreciate that. Warren will still be around for reviews though, every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on when when the codes get doled out. But like I said, we are looking at changing or tweaking or adding some segments for Season 2. So we've been brainstorming a few ideas. We're not going to all put them in episode 53 or anything and bombard you with a completely different show. But we've got some things we want to try out, see what people think about them. But having said that, if you as the listener have any ideas of things you like or don't like, you can either send the feedback directly to me or Chin. Probably Discord would be the best, but if you feel like you want to email it to the Real Gamerscore
contacts
email,
that we mention at the end will work.
Send it through. We'll read it, because we are genuinely interested. Yeah,
every idea is a good idea, even if it's a really small thing. Like, hey, just mention 2 sales that you recommend, and not just one. Little things is fine too.
So we are going to include a section for that in the survey. So if you want to hold off and send it off in the survey, you're more than welcome to do that as well. But we would like to hear what the listeners think, because really we get to sit here and talk about video games. It's a bit of a privilege for us, and if there's something that we could be doing better, we would like to hear about it. All right, so that's a nice long intro. We better get into a bit of news. I didn't see many news articles around this week, so there's 2 kind of unusual ones. But the first one I saw here, I mean, it kind of speaks to me as gamers. I think gamers... I've talked about gamers and versus speedrunners, like achievement hunters versus speedrunners. I think gamers' biggest strength is finding a better or easier way of doing something. Speedrunners, are in that crowd as well. It's just applied differently. But I think gamers are fantastic at
finding
exploiting systems. Finding shortcuts. All sorts of glitches. So this story is about Apex Legends, but players are tricking their consoles into allowing a mouse and keyboard to play the game, which, depending on how you sit, that's a massive advantage. I think it is an advantage, but I'm just not convinced of how massive an advantage people say it is. It's definitely an advantage, though. So basically, they're getting an advantage due to a device that allows them to trick the console into reading their mouse and keyboard as a controller. The developers know about it. They're unhappy. They're looking at ways to stop this happening, which would obviously result in banning, or at least looks like they're trying to put them into a playlist where they would be with other cheaters. I've heard that as a method of banning on other games before. But the reason that this caught my attention is, I'm impressed that people have made or found a device that can do that. But I remember before I left a group on Facebook called I Love My Box Australia, New Zealand Xbox fan page or something, the guy that ran it, very toxic person, but his pet peeve was this same thing in Rainbow Six Vegas. He would presumably be getting beaten. Not Vegas.
Siege,
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was like...
No, not Vegas.
I'm like... First I was like, was there competitive... There probably was competitive multiplayer.
There was.
Is that crowd still alive at this point? Like,
no. But he would regularly rant about what he believed to be was people using mouse and keyboard versus a controller. So what do you think about this? I mean, you probably not the best person to ask about this because you don't play that many competitive multiplayers.
I don't think this is necessarily new technology. I'm pretty sure this was happening with Overwatch and happening with Fortnite, and
I think I heard it with Fortnite. Yeah,
that this is visible to the developer. They can see when the person's using it, but the intended use is not for people who want to get an edge on the competition. I think the intended use of the device is accessibility. So to make it easier for someone who maybe couldn't use a standard controller before the adaptive controller came out, and maybe that's a better option now for ease of use, and accessibility. But this was designed so that someone who may not be able to use a normal controller could plug this in, and it would connect to whatever alternative device they were using, so that they could actually play. Having played on PC for Overwatch and being reasonably high ranked in that game in early competitive seasons, mouse and keyboard playing with mouse and keyboard with aim assist, which is what they are still able to do in Apex Legends.
Oh, are they?
That's the other thing, is that they get the aim assist as well as having that twitch reflex better.
Yes, that's definitely a
that
huge
would
advantage.
be a ridiculous advantage for an above average player. At anyone average or above, you would be beating most people above average. It's like assuming everything else was the same, game sense and everything else was the same. You're going to beat them 99 times out of 100, and it's just like the advantage, I think, is understated, but it's how it's going to be handled. If they can identify the ones that are using it as an exploit, which is difficult, but and putting them in a queue and a lobby separate, that's great. Not knowing anything from the developer side, I think this is going to be hard to enforce. And
Yep.
I mean,
How
especially
do you tell someone who
needs
might be missing fingers or something and needs it to
connect to their
actually
bigger
legitimately
joystick
play,
Yeah.
versus someone who's just wants to mess with someone or many other players. Yeah, I think that they will probably just say no. You either go in your own queue or you get a ban. That will be where I think it comes into it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, I think, in general, that people feel the need to do this at all. Like, just play on the level playing field, man. Do you feel better about yourself because you have a technological advantage in this situation, or I
don't think people think of it that way. I think I'm trying to think of we obviously play Rocket League a lot. Doesn't really apply there, but could you imagine we've just been smashed 10 games in a row and someone goes, hey, here's an aim assist for shooting
aerials
with your aerials are going to be 75% better, just through sheer magic,
through an external tool.
It's a terrible analogy, but that's the best way I can think of to put it. If you've just been getting smoked game after game, there is that temptation there to go, oh, okay, I want to not feel like a loser.
I wonder if I can program my Cronus to do quick kickoffs.
Anyway, I see how it happens. I agree with you. I don't think you should do it, and I think that they should be trying to ban people or, through some method of putting them into their own queue. But while I don't do it, I can see how people I can see the attraction that people have for
anything to win. I mean, that's it. When you're willing to do whatever to win it, I guess you get the joy of winning, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't feel as
might be making a generalization here, but I would guess that it's probably younger people, not necessarily all of them, but people that want to do this for trolling or to try and win purposes. I would guess that it's someone who's younger.
Epic YouTube montages, bro.
Yeah, or if you. No, I was probably going to go down a rant there. I'll try and condense it into 30 seconds. If you've been told by your mum you can always do anything you ever want, you go and play Fortnite and you get your butt kicked game after game after game. Yes, I censored that.
I saw your mouth form those words and it wasn't but.
Like, hey, take this Zim module and you'll hit, then you're not a loser anymore and you feel good about yourself. I don't know. I could be totally off about that, and maybe it's 30-year-olds who've got their, youtube.com/trolling Fortnite players. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. So this one here, I think this is your article about FIFA.
Yeah.
So tell us what's the game.
It's been a recurring thing, and it's been in the news the last couple of weeks. And this is just I think this is more a sign of. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. Essentially, the UK gambling watchdog has told politicians that it doesn't consider purchasing in-game content like FIFA player packs and loot boxes as a form of gambling. Because, and this they say, there's no official, as in EA endorsed or Activision Blizzard in the example of Overwatch, there's no official way to monetize the items inside them. There are, and that prizes have to either be money itself or have a monetary value, which we can assume established by the developers in this case, for it to be considered gambling and fall under that legislation. The fact that
because the prize is not monetary,
because
it's not gambling,
not money, and because EA don't have a marketplace where you can trade between players for real money. Like, EA don't have a setup where I can give you a Cristiano Ronaldo card and you give me through them $10 or whatever. EA don't have that setup, so therefore there is no official monetary value to them. The fact that there are secondary markets doesn't come into play in this situation. So the fact that FIFA moneyforplayers.com exists, it's not endorsed by EA, so that doesn't apply, unfortunately.
It's not relevant.
I mean, it's the same way Japan gets around its gambling laws, where they go to a pachinko parlor, they pay $10 and get 20 metal balls that they play their pachinko games with, and they can either lose the balls or they get more metal balls. They buy a prize with those balls, go around the corner, sell that prize for cash. That selling the toys for cash is not the parlor putting a monetary value on it. It's an unrelated, quote-unquote unrelated place giving you money for the thing you've bought. And that's how they get around their laws, because I mean, it could have changed. I'm pretty sure you can't gamble. I think that's illegal in Japan. But this is how they get around it. I think the thing to take away from this is less that outrage that how could you not think this is gambling, because they have said that they mentioned that there was potential dangers with children accessing the game, and FIFA is for anyone 3 and up, so they understand that there's that risk, but it's the legislation that's at fault. It's the laws that haven't kept up with the times that are at fault, rather than the people that have to enforce them. And yes, they could just say, yeah, it's gambling anyway, but then the law says it's not, so they would just, whatever case they tried to make would just get thrown out of court. They need to put in the work to change the laws if anything's going to happen, which takes forever, because it always does. So yeah, it's more the fact that the legislation is not keeping up with times, and who could expect it to, with how quickly everything changes. Yeah.
So I've just typed in gambling definition into Google. While I think there is some truth in what you're saying, I also think if we took this definition of gambling, it's actually factually incorrect. So gambling, definition 1, play games of chance for money or to bet. Alright? Bet a sum of money.
Mm-hmm.
Cool? It's exactly what you're saying.
Gambling on football is the example they give.
Definition 2, to take risky action in the hope of a desired result. So they're very similar. One talks about money, one doesn't.
One's a risk,
that
a chance more than monetary.
For me, when I think about gambling, the reason that something is a gamble is because you take a risk on it, not because you're gambling money. Because you can gamble, you can gamble with your health. If you go out on a Saturday night, have too many cans, you find a nice partner to take home, and you don't practice safe,
and then she turns into a cane toad.
Well, I mean, they might have an STI. That is a gamble, man, and that I don't think that that's not a fair use of the word gambling. You know, you could be doing any number of things that don't involve money, which I would suggest are gambling. So unless they specify definition 1 as the definition for gambling in that legislation, I think they're
legislation defines what is gambling. So their laws define what gambling is for their country.
That is such a crap definition of the word, because, like I said, there are many ways to gamble.
Using your monetary funds at the chance of something with monetary value.
Russian roulette is gambling.
Yeah, gambling but your life doesn't have monetary value.
Well, when someone dies, and it goes
not
to
including
court,
insurance and all that stuff, but from a purely
there's not a government legislated amount how much it costs. No, there's not.
I mean, if you want to get technical, bingo's gambling.
Yep.
It covers, but it's because it's. At least I know. I was talking to someone earlier, and they were saying, he's from Slovakia. Nailed it totally. If he's not, then he's going to be angry at me. But gambling for their laws doesn't include games of relaxation. So bingo would be considered a game of relaxation.
Okay.
Or it would be classed under that. So gambling doesn't... So paying money for your bingo card to have a chance to win wouldn't be considered gambling in that sense.
It still involves the exchange of money, though, I suppose.
Purely on the pure definition, yep, but that's that's an exception, and video games would probably also fall under that exception.
Yeah, buying your keys in Rocket League or buying your bingo cards.
Would you not argue that a video game is a tool of relaxation? So gambling, in a general sense...
When we're playing Rocket League,
not when we play Rocket
terribly
League,
relaxed, mud.
But you understand what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
In a general sense, those would be classed as items of relaxation, and therefore probably whatever happens within them is probably excluded from gambling. But it's legislation and lawmakers not keeping up with the times, and at this point scrambling really to try and make sweeping changes when minor changes 10 years ago would have been enough. But now it's becoming a problem, and they need to make sweeping changes to make a grand gesture to sort of show that they're doing something.
I think video game developers and people who talk about microtransactions are better equipped to keep ahead of the curve, to continue, to circumvent whatever the current definition is of illegal loot boxes in whatever country. A video game developer will go, oh, okay. So, for example, this is why FIFA, when they put in the ability to spend money in a game, and why pretty much everyone who did microtransactions, you buy a premium currency, and the premium currency is what you exchange for the loot box.
Yeah.
Because if it was just you pay $5 of your own money to get a loot box,
that would probably be different.
It's much easier to legislate against. You go, no, sorry, that's gambling. Or that's...
And then they just turn to the premium currency market anyway.
That's why everything has a premium currency now.
Yeah.
And they did it to circumvent the laws that were already in place. So I think that even if laws... I think what we'll see in the future is a lot more governments legislating on it, whether it's for regulation or whether it's for banning of them. But then I think video game developers will be one step ahead of the laws to go, let's do something else instead,
They're going to have to do the old Microsoft Terms of Service trick and make it so broad that they can just kill whatever they want.
Yeah, it'll be a bit like that.
Yeah. If they were... But again, then that doesn't get passed because lobbying and all that other nonsense. It's a slippery slope.
I actually wanted to bring up what you were talking about last week. I think there was a UK family who, in 3 weeks, lost, £500 or something? Yeah,
£500 from playing FIFA.
Was it FIFA or Fortnite?
Yeah, it's FIFA on the Switch. £550, which is about $1,000 Australian.
I look at that and I go, how do you not check your bank balance for 3 full weeks? That's
it
what I
wasn't
don't
3
get.
weeks.
I was just like, how do you, like, maybe I look at my bank more than other people. I probably log into my bank every couple of days. Probably because I don't have a great memory and can't remember what my balance is. But
assuming they're not, scrambling for money, like assuming they are...
That would be one reason I think you wouldn't check it all the time.
Not necessarily rich, but, assuming they're not living paycheck to paycheck. And this is what happened. They didn't notice until they went to make a purchase and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Which, again,
I think you guys all
they're
raised...
still at fault for that, but...
Yeah. And I just thought, in the early days, I'd be sympathetic and go, yeah, you know what, that's fair enough. They need to get their money back. But I think that Microsoft... Actually, I talked to Nicole about this. We were on the plane home. We were driving home from the airport, and I had the podcast on, and she was like, same thing as me, how do the parents not know? But she goes, are there not controls in place to stop that? And I said, yes, they are. They're at the account level, where you can set passwords and PIN codes to log into your profile.
But they watched him make a purchase. What? They saw how he made a purchase for £8 for them. They watched it, remembered what he did, and just copied it.
Yeah. But there are controls at the account level to log into the account that has the money or the credit card linked to it. And there are controls at the purchasing level where you can set, like, if you want to purchase something, it sends I think there's a PIN code or a password. There might even be a 2-factor authentication. I'm not sure about that last one, but there are many levels. And I was just like, how are the parents... I look at this and I go, this is the parents not doing the right thing. If you have kids that are that age and you don't know that they're pretty damn smart, I wonder how much attention you're paying to your kids. Because kids, I hear it all the time, kids are smarter than you realise. They see you do things, they pick it up. Remember how one of the first 10 words your kid said was a swear word? Hey, they pick things up quick, eh? Not you specifically, people that have kids might listen to this podcast.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, and not that I necessarily believe it, but it's because gaming is not mainstream enough yet. Yes, the parents should have been...
exactly the conversation Nicole and I had, yeah.
Yeah, yes, parents should have been on there, but I said it last week, the companies are not putting it out there, I don't know that they have documentation. They're not educating
anyone, and they never will.
Documentation in the Switch that says this is how you restrict this stuff, or even when they're setting up the account, I don't think they have anything that goes. I again don't know. Don't have a Switch. Possibly getting one for my birthday, but another matter.
I'd like to get one.
That it pops up and says, "Oh, would you like to restrict your account so that purchases can't be made?" Most parents would see that and go, "Well, no. What if I want to make a purchase?" And don't think about other things. They just think, well, when I use it, I want to be able to make a purchase, so I'm not going to enable these restrictions.
The way that I thought about it was I came to the same conclusion. I think parents just are not educated on video gaming. And if they think that they are, they're probably thinking of a time where you put a cartridge in a Nintendo, and that's the end of that.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, people aren't as educated as that. But I also think, and this will probably be my last point on the whole topic, if you're going to put a video game console in your child's hands, you need to understand what it is that you're giving them. Because when I was talking to Nicole about this, I said, what if, it's an utterly ridiculous analogy, but you've handed your child a hunting knife and you've got no research, you have no idea that the hunting knife is sharp or can cut things, you have no idea. The kid plays with it, they stab themselves in the arm and going, oh, I can't believe it stabbed him in the arm. It's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, you're the parent and you control your child's access to these things.
Yep, the hunting knife doesn't have a rating for children ages 3 and up. FIFA does. I get what you're saying, but if you seriously expect a parent to go, this game is okay for children 3 and up, it definitely has gambling where they can, or something where they can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. For a child 3 and up, then I don't know. Yes, the parents should be educated, but I don't think that is helping them when what they're being shown gives them the indication that this is okay, this game is appropriate for children 3 years old and up. And yes, online interactions are not rated by the ESRB or whatever ratings board in the UK, but I don't know many people who would say, see, this is appropriate for young children, and think, I need to make sure there's nothing malicious here that is going to cause harm. Which is what it does. Spending that much money causes harm.
Yes, that's a good point.
And
I didn't really consider that, but I also think that, I mean, you're putting it in your child's hand. I think even if you're relying on a government to tell you all the things you need to know, I think that's foolish. Or ESRB is a government-run thing in Australia, I think so.
Oh, is it here?
I think that they are.
MRPAA.
If they're not government, they're like sponsored by government, or they're like a semi-government regulated entity here. But I think, I mean, I probably shouldn't preach. I don't have children. I don't have no time ever because I'm always never sleeping because of children. But I don't know. I think you owe it to your children to understand. Anyway, that's enough of my preachiness. No. If you feel like I would be a good or bad parent, you can find me on Twitter at ProfessorPluto. You can let me know what you think.
He is pregnant, so, we're expecting...
Not yet, but, we're married now, twins. So...
Oh.
Yeah.
Late breaking news. That's because I pushed the story to the news hounds and I forgot all about it. Defiant Development have closed down. They're the guys that made Hand of Fate 2. Aussie devs.
Yeah, I read that on Discord. Someone wrote that in one of the messages.
Yeah. It's,
you really liked that game, Hand of Fate, didn't you?
I loved it. It's very... And I saw their new game. They were working on next. It looked pretty much the same, but different enough that I was like, man, that sucks that that's never going to come out again. Or, again, never going
to... It might be picked up. I mean, I know it's unlikely, but it might be.
I mean, they've essentially closed down, are in caretaker mode, so they're just going to look after whatever game that Hand of Fate 1 and 2. Yeah, it's look, there are Australian developers popping up all over the place. I was
just about to ask if they're Australian. I think they are.
They are, yeah, they're Australian. They're in Brisbane, I think. Or, yeah, I'm fairly certain they're in Brisbane. But, look, they've done well because they're not a huge studio. They made it through the GFC in 2008, global financial crisis, and I feel like they are one of the ones that pushed Australian development into the eyes of like Xbox and stuff in a bigger way. Not necessarily they're the only ones, but I think they had a big impact on getting Australian developers out there and doing these amazing things on consoles. There's probably a bajillion great games on Steam. Don't play Steam.
Yeah, can't talk about Steam, hey?
Yeah.
Although Blowfish is the one that I'm keeping my eye on in terms of Aussie developers.
Publishers. I assume they work with Australian developers, but they're strictly publishers.
Blowfish, are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I always use those two interchangeably, even though deep down I know they're not the same thing. Well, that's sad news, and that's Australian developer going down. Hopefully their new game resurfaces somewhere else. It's not impossible that it gets picked up by another studio, but yeah, it's tough times ahead. Alright, so you've got the Great True Achievement Scoring Challenge Roundup. Hello, Kiska, in the background.
Yeah. Yes, I do. So, Period 3 just finished. Well, finished a couple of days ago, but we're into Period 4. The new bonus for the week, because I've decided now I'm going to announce the bonus as well, even though you should probably know it by now if you're in, but who knows. It's for the team side, and it's to end the scoring period having unlocked at least 150 achievements. So that's cumulative total for your team. So your teams of 3, you can split it up evenly and get 50 each. One person can get all 150 and the other 2 can be slackers. Whatever. As long as you have 150 at least 150 total between the 3 of you, you'll get that bonus. Looking at solo, the cutoff was 185 true achievement difference.
I got there.
What, did you just sneak in, did you?
Oh, I wasn't that far down.
The solo low that I saw was our lowest, closest to the line, Enigma Gamer, Enigma Gamer 77, I apologise, had
don't
300...
get those Enigma gamers mixed up, alright?
307 difference, so 122 above the drop. Our high flyer was Daryl Maple, who got 153rd spot, so wasn't even that high, relatively speaking, but did well.
It was over 1,000 on solo, I think.
Yeah, 1,969 true achievement difference. We did lose someone. Guitar Stu was at 51, so true achievement difference. So he was 134 below the line. Makes me feel like he maybe wasn't paying attention to what was going on, or got hit by a ton of decay. Massive amounts.
Yeah, that decay is a real pain in the butt.
As for team, the cutoff was 1,213. Team low, and I had to double check this because I thought I mixed up the low and the high. I didn't. The team low was Is This Team Leapfrog? So that's Daniel JJ14, Jimbot UK, and Infamous, who got 1,521, only 308 above the line. The high flyers was The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly, which is What the Fug, Walker Peel, and NBA Kirkland, who were 71st on the board and 4,246 true achievement difference. See, I thought I'd mix them up and swap them around, because I don't really expect Jimbot's team to be so low, and no offense, Fug, don't expect your team to be so high. There's a shock all around.
Damn.
We only lost one team. We only lost week 10 badge or bust. That's the team of Professor Pluto, No Shade Bush, and LA Jester, who with
at least
30,
XLAX Jester's still in the team comp.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, 35 below the cutoff line, 1,188, because they were scanning stuff in and the scanners took too long. It's unfortunate, but hey, at least you're all still in individual, so you can get that badge, the community challenge badge.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because I think Shadow was playing some Crackdown 3 to get above the line, and we would have been above the line, but you know what those queues are like at cut-off time.
Yeah.
Even on the Pro scanner, I'm pretty sure Shadow's a TA Pro.
Yeah,
member.
I think probably.
Even the Pro scanner is backed up.
There always is. Except they've got a once per minute restriction now as well.
Yeah.
So you can't scan in more than once a minute, which I was annoyed by because I do like clogging up those scanners near the end of the period. Even if I don't need it, I just request. I just constantly request scans. It's probably not very nice, but it's what I do.
You're the worst.
So if you take a look at, like, last year at least, if you took a look at the requested scans near the end of period time, you'd see me at, like, or like the people who got scanned, I'd be like every second one, because they'd get someone in between me, but just constantly sit and request scans.
You weren't even in the comp last year, were you? Just trying to block people out.
I was for a bit. I think I made it like halfway.
Okay. Alright. Anyway, yes, our team is out of the competition, but yeah, like I said,
you're only in it for the individual badge.
Yeah, still in it for the badge. I said never again great true achievement score challenge.
I know, I said the exact same thing. And then he put a community... I don't think it was Warren. I think it was Rich. Rich put that in.
Yeah,
because then later we'll explain to him, yeah, it's kind of weird that you have all these... For the most part, everyone has a chance to win badges, and then you've got it in this contest where you could actually stop someone from getting the badge. Like, you're actively stopping someone else getting the badge. And he's like, didn't think of that. And we're like, ooh, okay.
It used to fall under community events.
Well, you still get a community event badge. No, it was never a community event because it wasn't a official TA event, I don't think.
Hey, you know how we were talking, before we get on to the review, you know how we were talking about Damsel today?
Yeah.
And how it became free for a very brief period of time. Not the game, the bundle it was in. What was the bundle? What was the other thing in the bundle?
Nothing. It was just the
okay, good. That's what I thought.
It was just a pre-order of the game. I don't know why they did that. It was obviously some kind of error, but I know Fug got it for free for me. So good on you. Because the issue was you couldn't get it on mobile. No, for whatever reason, no one could get it on their mobile. So you had to either do it through the app somehow, or
I got it on my mobile.
Did you?
Yep.
I could not get it on my mobile. I tried like four different browsers. I see you pulling out the business card. I've got mine on my downstairs.
Can you see it on the camera? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring it up during the review break.
That's what reminded me of the story. So yeah, it was the bundle with nothing else in it was
except the game
on the store for $0.
It was only up. I think it was like 3 hours. It was up, maybe 4.
Oh, I didn't even know it was that long. I thought it was maybe 1 or 2 hours before someone said it's gone.
I know when
Warren
it went
was in there
down.
saying it was gone.
I know when it went down. I just don't know when it went up. Or at least Warren posted it at about 10:25 my time, and it went down by 2 o'clock my time.
And that's another good reason to join Discord.
Yeah.
Find out things as they're happening.
He should have at everyone. I'm disappointed, Warren.
Yeah. So actually,
I'm just going to quickly do it now.
I should have no, don't do it. I should have at everyone.
This game was free, but now it's not.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to go on with our review. So this week's game, Miles and Kilo, very difficult game, but it's going to be me and you, and we're going to get a bit of audio from Warren, I believe.
Yeah, I got him to do a 2-minute soundbite because I know he enjoyed this game, despite it being almost exclusively stuff he doesn't really like, which is platformer, and it's look, now I can't even remember if it was pixel arty. I don't think it was that pixel art, but it was a little bit.
Oh yeah, I would say it is.
But it's not like 8-bit pixel art. It's
probably 16-bit, I guess. I don't know.
No, probably more than that. But like those are both things he doesn't like, and he really enjoyed it. So yeah, to go over it again, Miles and Kilo is the game. It is published by 4 Horses and developed by Mike Burns. It was released on the 22nd of March 2019, so it's relatively new. It has a price point of $7.99 US or $11.95 Australian. It is a platformer, according to TA, and I'd agree with that.
Yep, me too.
So it is the plot. The plot of the game is you're flying your plane, and then I hit the skip button.
Your plane gets struck by lightning.
That's what I imagined happened.
The lightning was directed at your plane by the final boss of the game.
Yeah, so you were attacked in your plane.
Yes, and you crash onto
these
island, and you need to find the parts scattered around the island.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like it's open world. It's not a side-scrolling platformer.
Side-scrolling platformer. Yep.
But at the end of each world, you get
you fight
a part
boss
back.
Yeah, you fight a boss who has one of the parts, and you get it back off him.
Yes.
So we briefly mentioned the gameplay. It's essentially a side-scrolling platformer. You run from left to right. You can throw fruit. You can jump, pick up coins, jump on the heads of enemies. There are spikes. There are things that throw stuff at you. There is small obstacles like that.
Fireballs coming up from everywhere and falling from the sky. Yeah.
You just need to get to the end, essentially. So the gameplay is simple enough, but I feel like they mix it up with the obstacles and the timing of stuff that it doesn't feel repetitive and boring. So essentially what you can do is, and I've learnt now there's an auto run option in the main menu that just
you're welcome.
Well, I don't know if that was in, because I played it pre-release because I got a code from the developer who's a great bloke. But I played it pre-release. I'm not sure if that option was in there, but I never used it, so I couldn't say for sure. Essentially, if you just keep running to the right, you can time everything. So everything. I don't know if it's to the beat of the music either, but I did enjoy the music. It's nice. But you can. So your timing of your jumps will always be the same every single run, and
Yes.
you will never be in a situation where you have to stop. Everything can be avoided either by jumping over it or like rolling through it or underneath it or throwing
fruit at the right
fruit.
time.
Yeah. Everything can be done with that timing of constantly running right, which you'll need to do to get an S rank because you need to hit under a certain time, a par time. There are occasionally levels where you are joined by your dog and you hang on to his lead and he just automatically runs, and he has a different set of moves where he can target and dive at an enemy to sort of boost him. So that mixes it up as well. It's honestly just really quite good, fun gameplay. And as I said before, it doesn't feel repetitive.
If you are an achievement hunter, it's going to cause you some dramas. But this game is a very fun game. It's fun if you just want to pick up a game, play a platformer, and have a great challenge. But it's also fun if you just want to pick up a game, run through the levels, and have fun. You don't care about the achievements. So I feel like this game's kind of got something in there for everyone. I will not be getting all the achievements, and I've enjoyed my time with it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of the achievements, there's one for completing each of the worlds, each of the 5 worlds, for S ranking all the levels. Some miscellaneous stuff, completing a level without killing any enemies, completing a level without throwing any fruit, killing every enemy in a level, that sort of stuff. There are then the time attack levels, sorry. So that is essentially, it's a time attack mode. You're trying to set the best time, but the time doesn't matter for any of the achievements. You need to complete that mode, complete it with less than 10 deaths, and complete a single level within the mode with less than 1 death. But you can just back out of time attack, go practice the level in the normal mode a few times, then come back to it, do that level, practice the next one, complete it, practice the next one, so on and so forth. You don't need to make any par times or anything, so you can be as slow as you want. You can go up and wait for an enemy to fly off the screen before you proceed further. It's probably not as difficult as it sounds until you get towards those final levels. One thing I did notice when I revisited the game for the review is that the bosses were made easier than I recall. I mean, I played it back in March, so I could be off my rocker, but I know for a fact that the second boss was more difficult when I played it originally, because that's where I would lose a lot of lives on that second boss, because his layout for his level was a lot more difficult than it is now. I also didn't realize you can just throw fruit at the boomerang.
Yeah, that took me a long time. I was always trying to jump over those boomerangs.
I did jump him. I jumped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you can just throw... Which, I mean, if you're getting an S rank, you will need to jump over them, because you have to have 5 fruit remaining.
Yeah.
But look, I think this is a really fun game. I think for $12 Australian, $8 American, this is a ridiculously good buy. The completion estimate for the game currently sits on the site at 3 to 4 hours. I would say if you are very good at platformers, you could do it in that time. Most people are probably going to be in that 5 to 6, 8 to 10 hour range, I would think. Maybe not 8 to 10 unless you're really bad. But I would say time attack is where you're going to get stuck, trying to get through that with less than 10 deaths. But
S ranking every level, the time attack with less than 10 deaths. They're probably the 2 big ones in the game. But there's it's worth mentioning. I actually found when I went back to this game, because I played it early in July and even at the end of June. There was an update released on I think the 4th of July. From what I was reading on Twitter, they added a dragon fruit at the start of the game. At the start of each level, if you die like 5 or 10 times. on the same level, it'll appear there. You can pick it up, and it means you can't be killed by enemies. You can't be killed by spikes or projectiles. You can only die by falling into the lava or falling into the water and dying. It will negate the fact of getting any rank for the level. You'll just get a dragon fruit rank, which doesn't count to anything, but it will help you get through. It helped me get through the final world. So yeah, that was an update that was recently released to make it a little bit easier, because the game is very tricky.
Yeah, it certainly can be. It's very much a memorization, so remembering the patterns of how you need to do things. But overall, I would definitely say people should buy this game.
I think it's, if you're not too interested in the achievements, if you just want to play a fun game, it is definitely worth the price of admission at full price. I was fortunate that I won a contest. I think it was from Achievement Hunting 101, which, actually, I think Rocket Dude messaged me the code when I won. So I won it from them, and I was like, oh, okay, what's this game all about? But yeah, I think the price of admission is very fair, and there's a lot of game to be had there, especially if you are going to spend the time to get the completion.
Yeah, and on that note, you can hear what Warren had to say about the game right now.
Miles and Kilo, what a strange game, I gotta say. Anyone who knows me knows that platformers are just not my thing. Whether it be the persistent attempts of doing the same thing over and over that just gets me frustrated, flustered, however you want to phrase it. I'm not sure if it's that, or the fact that there's just kind of that one single-minded attempt that you have to do every time to get through the game. But that brings us to Miles and Kilo. It's not the same. I mean, is it the pixel art? No, I mean, there's lots of pixel art games out there, and I'm not a huge fan of it. There's definitely some good implementations. Is it the dog? I don't think it's the dog. It's definitely a different element, and you wouldn't believe how much I laughed when the game turned into, like, Sled Dog 101. But no, I've been trying to rack my head to figure out, why do I actually enjoy this more than the average platformer? And what I ended up with was somehow these Super Mario-esque elements of tossing fruit have muddled my brain into thinking it's not my mortal enemy. Does that mean I have any hope of completing this, though? Yeah, not a chance. It's still a platformer. But still, where I'll usually put a platformer down in frustration, this one actually gives me reason to try again. And that's different. I think it's the unique way that developers also design their game. I've put almost 2 hours now working on the amphibious achievement, which is for completing level 1-6 without surfing. And although it's the exact same thing every single time, I just can't quite get it into my memory. But I keep trying, and I guess these different elements about the game is kind of what, again, it confuses me into thinking it's not really an adventure. It's a side-scrolling adventure that you can't stop or something. I don't know. So if you're like me and you're leery of the platformer genre tag, I'd say give this one a shot. Give Miles and Kilo a shot. And save a dog or two while you're making fruit smoothies out of your enemies.
All right, so Kirby, you can tell the lovely listeners what you've been playing this week.
Sure. This was kind of a tough week because the GTASK bonus for last period meant you had to stay under a 1.5 ratio. So there's lots of stuff I really wanted to play, but I couldn't because I was limited to this, personally limited. And I curated a bunch of my easy stuff for the random to-do list, so I didn't want to play them and take them out of the pool. Nevertheless, I did get a reasonable amount of time with a few titles. We will start this week with Stacking, which is a really enjoyable Xbox Live Arcade title made by Double Fine, who, as we all know, were picked up by Microsoft, so maybe that hits Game Pass. It is only a 200 pointer, and there is a DLC worth 50 points that I could probably complete because that doesn't get picked up in the random to-do list. But it's an adventure game with a lot of sort of puzzle elements. So you play as a small boy / Matryoshka doll So there's little dolls that go inside dolls, which go inside dolls, which go inside dolls.
Oh.
Those
I think they're also known as babushka dolls or something, aren't they?
Yeah, I've heard that. So they're the Russian nesting dolls, and you solve puzzles by stacking into bigger dolls and using their abilities.
Oh, I've heard of this game before, actually.
Because you're a little one, you can only stack into the small ones, who can stack into medium, who can stack into big, who stack into large. So if you need the ability of a large one, you need to work your way up through smaller dolls. So one of the puzzles I got, for example, was there was a queue of people, and it was supposed to be small dolls on the outside 2 lanes, medium-sized in the middle 2, and big in the very center. And there are, dolls all over the shop. So there are 3 different ways you could solve it. One was stacking into the dolls and moving them that way, so manually sorting them, because once they were in the right line, they'd stay. Another was you could get into a doll who would fart and clear out all of the lines, and then swap into a doll that would organize. So once everyone was cleared, they would blow the whistle, and they're like an army sergeant or something, and they would organize, and everyone would get organized into the right lines. Or you could stack into a boxing doll and punch people, and that would make them move to the right line for whatever reason. I don't know why, but you punch them and they go, oh, I'm so sorry, and move into the correct line. So most of the puzzles had 2 or 3 or 4 ways to solve them, which is really it's interesting. It's nice to have that different elements. Though I just followed a guide because I'm lazy. I enjoy the gameplay, not figuring out puzzles, especially because it's not math puzzles. But no, it is pretty enjoyable. I'm in the last stage, I think, the last level-ish area, but I'm saving those achievements for random to-do list, so I didn't finish it off. Hopefully I get at least one of them in the next couple months, otherwise I'll just finish it off before the start of next season. My big grind for this week was Disney Universe. So for anyone who hasn't had the joyous pleasure of experiencing this game, it's basically like a platformer adventure type game with beat 'em up combat. You play as one of a myriad of different Disney characters from the Pirates of the Caribbean world, or Wall-E, or Lion King. You can play as Simba or Rafiki or whatever. And you essentially just complete missions in worlds. So there are 6 different worlds. Each of those worlds has 3 levels, and each of those levels has 3 stages. Stage takes probably 5 to 10 minutes unless you're rushing through it really quick, and some of them take a bit longer. So the 54 stages takes about 9 hours to get through them all. Sounds easy enough. The achievement I needed in my random to-do list was to earn a gold rating for each world. So,
sounds tough.
Yeah. So, gold rating is based on 4 criteria and a couple extra that you need to do within the world, and a couple extras that need to be just done. So you need to have found all the collectibles, and there are 3 collectibles in every stage. You need to unlock both of the characters for that level, and to unlock it, you have to beat the level, so you have to beat the level twice. And in one of, I think it's the last playthrough you do, or a playthrough you do, you need to, because there are 4 main criteria. There's defeating how many enemies you defeat, how much gold you get in the level, how many blue stars you get, which usually they're in chests, so you have to find the key and unlock the chest, and how many challenges you complete. So as you progress, a arcade machine will pop up, you use it and it gives you a challenge, like maybe defeat 20 enemies in 30 seconds with this weapon, something like that. You get some leeway because the total amount you can get is 110%, so you have about 10% leeway to get the gold rating. But it still requires you to play every level twice, and usually the one where you're collecting everything takes longer because you're making sure you don't miss many coins, because dying will mean you lose 100 coins or whatever, and making sure you defeat enough enemies and stuff. So it was roughly 2.5 to 3 hours for each world. So at 6 worlds, it's 18 hours, which is probably that's exactly what I estimated. Good job, Kirby. You're a genius. But no, I don't know, the game would be okay in small bursts. Because I did it all in like 2 or 3 days, I wanted to die quickly, very quickly.
Let me ask you this. Listening to you talk about playing that many levels sounds very tough. Knowing that you've done it now, would you rather, if you had your time again, would you rather have to do that achievement or do the Dead Island Retro Rampage Gold Star every level that I got, which is only 24? I think 24.
I honestly think... See, it depends on how difficult the Gold Star is itself. How many times you or me have to replay it to get to that point. I reckon the Gold Stars is probably less mind-numbing than doing this. Because this is not difficult in any way, shape, or form. But playing the levels again and again and again, and with some of them there's no way to do them quickly. Like, you just have to take the 10 to 15 minutes that it's going to take, maybe longer, and play through. I would probably take yours over mine.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, it's quite tough.
Yours is difficult, but I would rather have something difficult than mind-numbingly grindy.
It's like, if I had 18 hours, do I think I could finish it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But, I mean, I guess I'll find out, because the highest I got was a 2-star. And I think I got it on 2 levels out of 24. So, I have a long way to go. But that was all learning the new enemies, because some enemies only die to certain combos. And the right combo usually...
will get more points, because you'll throw the enemy into other stuff, Yeah. But I preloaded everything else in the game, so hopefully it comes up in Rand's to-do list so I can get it quick. Otherwise, again, I'll just finish it off at the end of this season. I played more Rocket League. Didn't play too much. I played last night with Kiwi, because I bought the new kit car, the Knight Rider car. Spent the $3. Wanted it when it was announced. I went, it's not the hitbox I like, but sure. I'm really enjoying using it, except that the boost is terrible. Like, because it's a special car, you can only use the kit boost with it. You can only use the kit wheels. You can only use...
What is the kit boost? Is it good?
It's like a barcode scanner that goes from left to right. Yeah, it's
like
not
on the front of the car.
Yeah, like on the front of the car, but it's on the back. Exactly like that. But it's the boost coming out. So it's a line, a couple centimeters long on the screen. And I'm disappointed because I used the cassettes to buy the Voltron boost. And I think the Voltron boost looks really good. And I wanted to use the Voltron boost.
Seen the Voltron
boost, it's so good. You go into that cassettes menu. There's a Voltron topper, a Voltron octane skin, and a Voltron boost. They all look pretty good. I think the stuff in this set of items is way better than the stuff before. This is probably a placebo effect, but I feel like this car is way overpowered. Like, I feel like I'm playing faster and playing better than I was, and maybe I was just having a really good game yesterday. But Kiwi and I probably went 20-2. Like, we in double, so 20 wins and 2 losses. It was ridiculous, and it wasn't, for the most part, it wasn't even him carrying. It was, which he normally would do, but like, my passes were back to when they were really in form. I was hitting them basically straight to where he was gonna be if he just kept driving straight and could shoot. I was getting little dribbles and flicks and stuff. It was a mad night. Can't wait to go 2-20 tomorrow night.
Just to even things out.
Yeah. And to give myself an extra push in the G-Task, I played the Windows 10 version of Abzu. Got it through Game Pass for PC. So it didn't cost me anything, which is nice. And I don't I don't know if I've just forgotten what the game looked like on the Xbox, but it was gorgeous on my computer. It was just stunning how well it looked. So Abzu is essentially, for anyone who doesn't know, it is a walking sim, but you're in the water. Scuba diving, kind of. It's just the water effects and the colours and the fish and all that looked amazing. Way beyond what I remember it being on the Xbox. I did follow a guide because I'm lazy scum, but, what a surprise. It was about an hour and a half it took me to complete the game, but it was... I enjoyed it. I had way more... I got more out of it this time than I did last time. I don't know why. I guess I was taking it in more. I don't know. It was beautiful. I loved it. So that left me on 2,690 game score for the week, and 25 out of 25 my random to-do list, a full combo. So just waiting for next month. What about you, Alex? What'd you do?
Well, I got back from my wedding, and I haven't really played that much. Not that I really want to talk about it anyway. So we mentioned Miles and Kilo. I was playing that this week. I was playing it because I had 2 random to-do list achievements for the game for this month. I remember looking at it at the start of the month, playing it a bit. I got up to, I think it was level 4-6, and just went, I can't. Or if maybe it was 4-4 or 4-5. There's no way I can finish this level. I was watching Sangria's guide on how to finish the level. I'm like, I can't. I'm not good enough. I'm not fast enough. But somehow I managed to get through it first time when I turned it on last night, and I don't even know how that happened. And it was shortly after that, in the final world, that I discovered the dragon fruits, which make you invincible to all the things I talked about in the review. I don't think I would have finished the 5th world without the dragon fruit. But I got both the random to-do list achievement that I needed for that game. I also played a game called The First Tree. So I bought this one because it looked interesting, but also looked easy and like a good story. I really like a good story game. So this is kind of an emotional story about a man who's having troubles. It seems like he's having troubles reconciling his past behaviour and his family relationships in light of his father falling ill. He's married or has a female partner, because it's playing out in the game as he starts telling I'm assuming it's his wife, about this dream that he has about a fox.
Oh! I dived this. It's in my random to-do list pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really good game. I've got one more achievement to go. I just go back and replay part of the first level and catch the rabbits to do that. But the story... when I read the review for the game, because I was interested, I thought, maybe I'll put a review up for it. The person that wrote the review was talking about him and his wife started crying at multiple points of the game. I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be a really hard-hitting emotional story. I don't know, for me, it didn't quite hit me that hard, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good game. Hello again, Kiska.
Yeah, it's right. Mute all of that, because they're going ham at something.
But, it just didn't hit me that hard, but I did enjoy the game. I enjoyed the story. There's an interesting game mechanic at the end where... This isn't a spoiler for the game, but you can write... it says, if you had one final message to your children, what would it be? And you use the Xbox chat pad to type it in. So I wrote in there something about, I just got back from getting married, so I really love my wife, Nicole, and, I make sure to tell her that every day. But when I was watching the video, the outro on the video, it was a different message to the one I saw. So I figured that it goes into a pool, and then shortly after that, it confirmed, do you want people to be able to read your message? So your messages randomly go to other people as they finish the game, I suppose.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I kind of wish I'd written something else, but I you know, like someone wrote something really, you know, profound on mine, and the one I read on the guide that I was watching was really profound as well. Like, actually, I think it was "Go Forth and Explore," which I think might be from Star Trek, but I don't know. But my one was talking about me specifically. I'm like, oh, well, no one that reads this is going to know what Nicole is, or who Nicole is. Anyway, the last game I played was Homefront Revolution, so Neo Master, not Neo Master 47, the real Neo Master. Ran me through the Resistance mode, which is like the co-op missions, to get 2 of my random to-do list achievements. So he's really good at the game, and he helped me out a lot. He's got all the good gear and all that stuff. There's a lot of bad press out about this game, and I've read quite a bit of it. Just playing that mode with Neo, it doesn't sound as bad as I've seen it mentioned everywhere, but I have experienced the glitches already. So we played it for maybe an hour. They talk about the glitches being really, really bad. What I needed to do was get 10 commendation medals.
Mm-hmm.
It took us 4 run-throughs of the same mission, where I got 9 commendations every mission. So I got 36 commendations, and only at that point 12 of them had counted. So it does seem a bit buggy, but the game looks like it could be quite fun. Hopefully it's got a good story, but I mean, who knows. Anyway, my random to-do list, I'm at 22 out of 25, and my Gamerscore for the week, higher than I thought, 2,355.
Yeah, I was also surprised. I guess playing those games brings you up, but I had a look at your card and saw the Gamescom. Oh, you did you did pretty well for... I didn't think the leaderboard was that tight this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I played Miles and Kilo. That was probably a couple of hundred. The first tree was, I think, 950. I'm like, where'd the rest of it come from? It wasn't from Homefront Revolution. Anyway, maybe it was Jack Quest. Maybe I got some of that hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's what we've been playing. So, got some sales to talk about now. So
sales.
Let's get straight into the sales, because there's quite a few on there.
There is. We have another 3 ACA Neo Geo sales. So they're in the quick points, but there's the caveat of I have no clue if they're quick or not. They're just usually considered quick, but I don't actually have any idea.
I think it's good that they're sending some of them through as a sale.
So they're all 50% off and $3.99, but Mutation Nation, Polestar, and The Last Blade in the ACA Neo Geo collection are all on sale. Again, I think Last Blade is easy because it has a tier of like 1,024, which is pretty low.
Mm.
And the rest are all like 1,100 or 1,200 or something, but, you know, maybe the 10 people that played it really enjoyed it, and when they were younger and completed it or whatever. I did, you know. A game I do know is easy but terrible is Albedo, Eyes from Outer Space.
Yeah,
80% off, $2.79. Dream Break is 75% off and $2.49. Aaliyah is 50% off, $6.49. That has a great walkthrough on True Achievements, so yeah, the game is really confusing, but the walkthrough will guide you perfectly. Horse Racing 2016, 85% off, $1.49.
Also known as the A-Button Simulator.
Yep. I wouldn't work right. See, I forgot to ask last week. I'll have to ask at the end of this before we move on to the next topic. iZombie, 50% off, $1.99. Rememoried is 75% off, $3.74. Now, for easy points, we have Gnome's Garden. Woo! It does not have an easy mode. I checked on the podcast like 2 weeks ago.
I just checked, by the way. We were talking about Damsel.
Yeah.
I can play the game.
You can play it now?
Yeah, I can play
Even though it's pre-ordered?
Even though it's got a pre-order. Although my Outer Wilds, even though Outer Wilds has been out for months, mine still has the pre-ordered under it.
Yeah,
so.
Mine also says pre-ordered as well. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, Damsel. That's unfortunate for them. Can't take it off me once I've played it. Haha. They probably can, but...
Yeah,
they absolutely can. Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter is 80% off, $10.99. Slayaway Camp, The Butcher's Cut is 70% off, $5.09. Tiny Troopers Joint Ops, 60% off, $3.99. The Count Lucanor, 75% off, $3.74. There is not a good guide on true achievements, but I believe PSN Profiles has a good platinum walkthrough, which gets you all of the achievements. So I don't necessarily like pushing people to other sites, but hey, they've got the goods. Use their walkthrough. It's great. And Call of Cthulhu is 75% off, $14.99. Back to TA for the good walkthroughs. I'm using that right now. Reminded me because you said the A button simulator. I, during my bean dive, have messed up my A button a little. So there's it works perfectly fine, but there's no distinct click. It's more like I just squish the button down and it works. So I'm in the market for a new controller. If anyone has
your Elite?
No, I don't. God, no, I don't use the Elite. Here's my Elite. Hold up. Here it is. Podcast. With the there's my Elite.
Removable grip.
Yeah, with the removable grip. Oh, look, this one's going too. Oh, great, awesome.
Why haven't you sent it back under warranty, or is it too old?
Because when it started dying, this is my 5th controller and was at the 13-month point. I'm like, I don't want to go through the hassle to get a controller that I'm not going to use because it keeps doing this. But yeah, I'm in the market for a new controller. Not an Elite V2 yet. I'll wait 6 months to a year on that. But if you have suggestions for controllers you like, and it's not a Duke either, Fufu.
I was going to say, didn't someone suggest a Duke? What about those purple controllers?
Look, I'm open to suggestions. If you think a Design Labs controller is really good, I'll get one made up and get them sent to Warren, and he'll send it to me. Like, I'm in the market for a new controller, and preferably first party.
The Wolverine? Have you? Okay.
I want first party. I'm a sucker for spending $700 on a controller.
There is the Pro controller. It's not made by Xbox, called the Wolverine. It looks pretty good. I reckon they might have been the ones that we were using at PAX last year when we were playing Rocket League on the beanbags.
Yeah. So do you hear this click? Did you hear that? This is my A. That was an X button. This is my A button. I pressed it twice. Did you hear it?
Kind of.
It just squishes. It's like it's because I don't know what I was playing.
It's disconcerting. You don't have that tactile feel on it.
It is a little bit. It works fine, but it's just not having that feel. I'm a little concerned that I'll accidentally push it in. It hasn't happened. I've played Rocket League a ton, but I get the feeling that I'm going to accidentally hit it when I don't mean to, and that'll stuff me up. But hasn't happened yet. That fear is put inside me. So yeah, open to controller suggestions on whatever you think looks good or whatever I should get that's first party. I'm super in the market. Maybe I'll get the Sea of Thieves controller.
Yeah, actually that one looks cool.
Yeah. Okay. Recommendations.
Yes.
I think people should buy the American Ninja Warrior Challenge. It's still pretty expensive. It's 40% off and $23.99, but it's just dumb fun. It's a lot of just button combinations and stuff like that to try and timing to complete the course. But look, this is the closest I'm ever going to get to a Ninja Warrior. We all know that.
And this is possibly 2019's Game of the Year?
Yeah, it could be. I'll wait till I play a bit more of it to make that call, but it definitely has the potential to be like the trash Game of the Year, for sure. Kind of like how Toro was the Game of the Year for me in whatever year it was released. It was not a real Game of the Year, but it's
the developer for American Ninja Warrior Challenge and be like, hey, guess what? You won True Achievement's Trash Game of the Year award, and they hand it to him. You'd be like,
it's just a trophy of a bin with their name engraved on it really poorly.
No, of that trash Pokemon, whatever his name is, Trashmo.
Trubbish.
Trubbish, that's the one. Oh god.
Anyway. Whatever he evolves into. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't know what he evolves into.
Garb something. Anyway,
Garbador.
You can have a look at that. Mine, my recommendation is Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's $9.99, 50% off. What was that?
Nothing.
Okay. So for me, that was. It's not.
I'm just thinking of the New Order. I'm just thinking of it, and it's just making me gag.
It is so good, mate. anyway, I think it was 2014 that came out. 2015 was Life is Strange. 2014, that was my game of the year. I absolutely loved it. It was, I mean, it's tight quality shooting that you would expect from a Wolfenstein game, but it actually has a good story to it as well. And I appreciate when a game does both story and gameplay very well. And they do both very, very well. All right, potential purchases. What are you buying this week, or what have you already bought?
Yeah, I did. I purchased Nidhogg 2.
What is Nidhogg 2?
The sequel to Nidhogg.
Oh, thank you, Captain Obvious. What game is Nidhogg?
I guess the best way I'd describe it is kind of like jousting. Look, and assuming it's basically the same as the first one, just you stand at opposite sides of the screen as your opponent. Your objective is to get, if you're on the left side, you need to get all the way to the right and through the sets of screens all the way to the end that's on the right. If you're on the right side, you want to get to the left. So you have a sword that you can throw or stab, and it's like a one-hit kill, but they respawn in a couple seconds. So you try and kill your opponent and get through to the next screen and kill him again and get through the next screen and keep doing that till you get to the end and win. Just really short burst matches.
That sounds really odd.
It's one you should probably watch a video to understand it better. Yeah. I've done an awful time describing, but the one that concerns me is there's an achievement for winning 100 online matchmaking matches, and no one has it yet. And I don't feel like that's one that would be difficult to get. I don't know how matchmaking works, whether you can invite a friend or whether it just takes a long time because a match takes 5 minutes. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like something that no one should have got by now.
Yeah. This game, I'm just watching a gameplay on YouTube. Wow, this is
I don't know how much it's changed
this is a
from
weird game.
The first.
It looks...
Okay, so all that looks like it's happened is the graphics are a little bit updated. The gameplay...
A little bit updated, these graphics.
You look at Nidhogg 1.
2014.
Look at Nidhogg 1.
I'm looking at Nidhogg 1.
Oh, look at Nidhogg 2 then. The graphics are better in Nidhogg 2, that's about it. The gameplay, the core gameplay is the same.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, they are. They are a little bit nicer, aren't they?
So you're just trying to get to the far left or far right.
Yeah, okay.
And so if you are... So, for example, if you're red and red is in control, the other colour needs to kill you to get get control to be able to progress. So you can't just run past them and try and sneak past them. You have to kill them to gain that control to be able to continue on the screens.
Okay. That is... Yeah, that's an unusual game.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly very weird.
Well, my purchases, I've already bought them. I bought the Count Lucanor and Rememoried?
Yeah, Rememoried. You'll be spinning and spinning and spinning. It's great.
Yeah. I needed to buy some stuff. So, all right, we've got some new games coming out. So, what we got? It's starting Wednesday.
We have Powerumi.
Powerumi?
Powerumi. It's a shoot 'em up. It's I think they describe it as a Neo-Aztec rock scissors paper shoot 'em up. Look, your guess is as good as mine. But and then we also have Hoggy 2, which is the next Ratalaika title. Mm-hmm. On Thursday we have Furwind. And on Friday, we have Tetsumo Party, Decay, and Wolfenstein Youngblood, which I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to Youngblood, even though it's not really my kind of game.
Why are you showing me that picture?
Just because I found it. I was just scrolling through.
Chin's showing me a picture of him pulling a face. He's got a pink shirt on with watermelons on it.
For anyone in the Achievement Hunting 101 Discord... These were the photos I sent in the Achievement Fest channel before they got purged by a crappy dude 5012.
Why did they get purged?
Because it wasn't really on topic.
Okay.
Conversation's organic. Let it breathe. And then on Tuesday we have the Blackout Club.
I second your excitement for Wolfenstein Youngblood, but I won't be playing it until I finish Wolfenstein 2. The new
And by
Colossus.
finished, he means the story, not
Yeah,
mein
credits
Leben.
roll, not mein Leben, because otherwise I'll never play it. Okay. Well, that's it for the sales and all that kind of stuff for the week. So we had a question on our email come in, so I was very
We got
happy
an
to read
email
that.
for a start.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Isaac, sending in an email. So I think it's a really good question from Isaac. I think a lot of people, whether they listen to the show or not, will find themselves in this position at some point in their life, or they might already be here. So I'm just going to read it out, and then we might break it down into pieces. So Isaac says, I skipped this generation of gaming consoles to instead move to a different country, get married, and have a kid. I really want to get back into gaming someday, and now that my daughter is old enough to be in nursery school, I have a tiny bit of time now. I believe I'll have even more time for games as she gets older, so I'm trying to decide if it's better to buy an Xbox One now or wait for the next console to be released. I don't really have time to play games now, so it'll be a while before I'm able to play again, though I want to be ready when there is. Thanks, Isaac Tessuck, aka Isaac the Gamer, aka Isaac.
Tangent.
Yes.
I've worked at a nursery school in the country where Isaac resides. It's not fun. It's fun. It's okay, but it's
What's not fun?
working
in
at
the
the
nursery school.
I worked for a little bit. I worked at a nursery school in the country that Isaac is currently residing. When I was there, mainly because the people I was staying with were quote unquote teachers at the nursery school, so I got to help out. It's very interesting and different. It's very. See, I don't want to like dox him and tell everyone where he is, but the country that he's residing in, the way schooling is done is so different to what I grew up with and obviously learnt. That it's very interesting to see, even from that early an age, how the development process goes. Tangent done. Proper answer, I would wait for the next console generation, and I would focus currently, assuming you have an Xbox 360, I would be focusing on titles that you can complete that are not backwards compatible. Because the next generation presumably will be able to play everything the Xbox One can play, everything that is backwards compatible on the Xbox One, so all your backwards compatible 360 games. That it won't necessarily be as fun as getting an Xbox One and playing lots of cool, shiny new games. But I think long term, it's probably better to wait that. I mean, it's a little over 12 months now, which is tough to say, but after April, there's going to be presumably very little big coming out until the new consoles launch. So you're really only missing about 6 months of new games, assuming our theories are right. But I personally, if I was in this situation, I would be waiting for the new console and trying to clean my non-backwards compatible backlog.
When I read this question, I thought, he's probably a few years ahead of where I'm at now. I also thought it depends on a lot of things. It goes like, what kind of equipment do you have at home? Do you have a 4K TV? Do you have just a 1080p TV? Are you planning on getting these things? So I think it's a little more difficult to answer. And what, do you have the money to buy a new console? I'm assuming that Isaac talks about potentially waiting for the next console that they could afford that. But I also think that there's a lot of value in being able to, if you just want to dip your toe back in, see if you like it. If you got a second-hand Xbox One S,
oh man, that's going to be that tough, difficult, but given the country he's in. Do you know?
I'm Poppy.
Okay, that's what I thought when you said, yeah. So I think in that situation to buy an Xbox One S or even an Xbox One X.
Get an Xbox One sad.
Don't get an Xbox One sad. But if you have a list of, 20 or 30 or 40 or 100 games, I mean, there's 3,000, 4,000, I don't know how many there are at this point on the Xbox One. You could get one for about 200 Australian dollars. You could probably get one for 150 Australian. I paid 200 for mine. It came with 6 games that I didn't want, so I've sold them all.
And hopefully
Not
you've
the
been
ones that you
redeeming
want,
games with gold.
But yeah,
as well.
and you can get it for, let's say in 12 months' time, you get one for $150. That's cheap, man. That's so cheap. You dip your toe in, you can probably pay another $100, $200 and get a whole bunch of games, or just chuck it on Game Pass. You get 200 games there.
I mean, presumably coming into the holiday season, there's going to be sales as well.
Yep.
So.
There's still a lot of value in, even at this point in the console life cycle, getting an Xbox One S or X and playing a whole bunch of games. There are a lot of fantastic games. And I do think that even with the new Xbox coming out in, 14, 15 months' time, whatever it is, that they will still continue to release games on the Xbox One for quite a long time. Having said that, if you've already got a 4K TV at home and you're loaded with cash and you just want somewhere to spend it, I think that the next Xbox will win the console war between Sony and Microsoft. Because I feel like this generation, even though maybe not in terms of sales, I feel like Microsoft have been on the upward trend, getting back to where they should be, and I feel like their hardware, in conjunction with all the new studios that they're getting, I think they are gearing up to absolutely smash Sony next generation. I hope for competition's sake that they don't smash Sony too hard, but I think that Xbox One, the new Xbox will be a very good prospect. So if you can afford it, I think if it fits in your home ecosystem, maybe save and get the next Xbox. But if you want to dip your toe in now, you can get one relatively cheap, an Xbox One, and have a lot of great games to play.
Yeah, and there are a ton of secondhand stores. I think my decision was coming from the perspective of an achievement hunter. If you just want to get back into gaming in general, then I would say absolutely get a current Xbox, whether it's a secondhand Xbox One S or whatever. Get one, get Game Pass. There are so many good games on Game Pass. Ones I've completed, so I'm not really caring about. But there's just so much variety as well. Your $10 a month or whatever is gonna go so far, and there are so many secondhand stores, I assume, near you, because usually there are. I'm sure you'll find a reasonably priced one. As an achievement hunter, I would be waiting. I think, I don't know.
I think you can't lose either way, really.
Yeah,
you either get a current Xbox and you're laughing, or you wait for the next one and you're on the train for the next big ride. I think it's a great prospect either way.
Yeah, but good question. It definitely made me think about what I would do. I'm so used to just, because for the last 5 years, just being on top of things, and I'll get the cool new thing, and then I'll get the cool new thing after that, and that I just having a proper life. Never really what I would do if I couldn't game because I had a life and real things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, real responsibilities.
Yeah. If I didn't have a sugar mama. She prefers to be called my girlfriend, but I love you.
Does
baby.
she listen to the podcast?
No, she does. I don't think so.
Okay.
Baby, if you're listening, I love you. You want a frappe from McDonald's? I'll get you a frappe.
But you got to pay for it because you're the sugar mama.
I'll go
You'll
get
just
it. You
drive out
order it
and
on
get
your
it,
phone
yeah.
and tell me the order code.
All
That's
right, well,
honestly, that's the worst thing I've ever done is downloading that McDonald's app. Because when I'm at home, because it's a 3-minute drive. It's not that far. It's reasonable distance. If I have to go there, I kind of like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to. If I sit in bed and I look at the app and I open it and I go, oh yeah, that does look good. I kind of do want to eat this at 11:30 at night. Then I'm already ordering it and I'm like, oh, well, it's ordered. I haven't paid, but it's ordered, so I better go. Like I trick myself into going. It's awful.
is that how you work on Xbox as well? Oh, it's in my cart. I've got to pay for it now.
That's basically it. I had a look at my cart the other day and I must have bought things individually because I'm like, I already own half these things. Oh, well, the other half isn't that expensive. I'll just buy it then.
I actually used the cart for the first time this week. It works. It's a bit more clunky than I thought it would be, but it works. It works.
Yeah, it's good for places that apply tax after the fact because when you go to the checkout, it'll tell you what that tax is. I don't have to get a calculator and go, okay, this game's $10.99 plus 5%. This game's $12 plus 5%. And, well, you know, it all does it in one go rather than trying to do it on my calculator. Though I do have
I couldn't live in a country like that. Just being permanently surprised. Hey, this is $10. Psych, it's $10.90. No.
I guess you get used to it, but the fact that each state is different would do my head in.
It would always irritate me. Always.
You know, that the state next to you may be a different percentage would do my head in.
Yeah.
Like I just going, no, but it's, you know, I work it out in my head. Oh, 10% means it's this much. Oh, it's actually 11% in this state. Stab you. I'm going to cut you up so bad. You're going to wish I didn't cut you up so bad.
Alright. You're probably not going to edit that out.
No, I've forgotten already. What?
Let's run through the milestones. So
I didn't order this at all either, so
that's fine. That's fine. It's pretty much in the order. So Big L has reached 450,000 Gamerscore. Prue has reached 20,000 achievements won. Tatey is on a 1,000 day achievement win streak. Homer has won 8,000 achievements. And Planting 42 is currently on a 6-year achievement win streak. And that popped up in the news feed. It's right down the bottom of my news feed. And there's a lot of people saying, wow, great job, and everything like that. So, yes, there we go. All the milestones done. All right, so that's it. Do you have anything to add before we close the door?
Where is the green sheep?
Where is the green sheep?
Yeah.
Is that a riddle?
I don't know.
Or are you just saying words
Hold up,
that
wait.
form a sentence?
I'm fairly certain it's a book. It is. It's a book by Mem Fox.
Oh, Mem Fox. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was one word.
Where is the green sheep? Because she did Possum Magic.
Oh, okay.
Possum
Now we're talking.
yeah.
Possum Magic. All right, yeah. Now I'm with you.
Same author as
Possum
Possum
Magic.
Magic. Possum Magic.
Rainbow Fish
possibly
and the Hungry
best,
Caterpillar.
Best.
They're not all the same author, but anyway.
Best Australian children's book. Better than Storm Boy. If they made a Possum Magic game, that would be way better than Storm Trash.
I don't know how I feel about you insulting Australian icons.
No, Storm Boy's good until they make a
you just said it was trash. You just said it was trash.
Compared to if they made a Possum Magic game. It's good unless they make a Possum Magic game, in which case it's doo-doo trash. And imagine a Possum Magic stealth game. Except you're invisible, so... Easiest stealth of my life.
We just lost 90% of our listeners.
No, they don't
Everyone
care
outside of
Storm Boy.
Australia just like, yeah, I don't know what the hell these guys are talking about.
I don't know if X the Hero listens to us, but if he does, Pelican deserved to die.
Who's Pelican? In Storm Boy? Are you saying Mr. Percy? Oh, mate. You wait till you come down to PAX.
His death was a blessing on the world.
I'm Poppy.
You can poppy me, I don't care, but you are wow, that is okay. Alright, before Kirby gets too much more excited, we better wrap it up, but hey, like Isaac, you can send us an email. You can send that to hello@realgamerscore.com. We both get that. You can send us a message or tag us on Twitter @realgamerscore. You can join the Discord, discord.io/realgamerscore, and you can find our Patreon page at patreon.com/realgamerscore. If you would like to write questions into the show, just like Isaac did, please do so. We'll answer them just the same we did for Isaac.
Yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
Isaac. Yes. Yeah, good stuff, Isaac. It was a good question too. And if you're interested in being on the show, send me a message on Discord and include the equipment that you have or an audio sample, so we can make sure we're maintaining the high quality show that we run. Well, in terms of audio.
Yeah, in terms of audio, not in terms of content.
Yeah.
Send some horn samples. Not necessarily your audio, just send some horn samples in. Get some. I'm pretty sure there's a free library where you can get some really good horn samples. Send
Free
him
music archive, yeah.
Send him a baritone sax sample. First person to send him a baritone sax sample will get a $5 gift code from me.
Okay.
He then has to pass it on to me so I can identify whether it's a baritone sax or not. Because I doubt he'll know.
Yeah, I have no idea, mate. All right. Now, if you want to help the podcast out, you can subscribe on iTunes. And why wouldn't you? We're the only podcast talking about baritone saxes. You can subscribe on iTunes
What did you
or
call
the other platforms.
Baritone?
Baritone?
Did you say with an M or an N?
I said it with an M.
Baritone.
Yeah,
baritone.
that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
You can leave us
What
a
is
review.
sax short for?
It's for Shut Up Chin. That's what it's short for, okay?
No, saxophone.
Yeah,
that
we
was
can't do
easy.
that one.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
no. You can leave us a review, tell your friends about us, retweet us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube and Patreon if you so desire. Chin, if someone wants to come and tell you they think the bassoon is a better instrument, where can they come and do that?
They wouldn't, because they would be awfully wrong. But
you can have that debate with them.
yeah, they could contact me on Mixer or Xbox Live, or Xbox Live will ignore you because I just don't see the messages. But you send me a message there, go for it. Or on Discord, or on trueachievements.com, or on Twitter. All of these under the handle ChinDocta, ChinDocta.
Alright. And if people wanted to find me, they can find me on Xbox, True Achievements, Mixer, and Twitter. My handle is ProfessorPluto. It's all one word. And you can find me on Twitch, ProfessorPluto1. Alright, episode 51. There we go. All done and dusted. So, thanks to everyone that's taken the time out of their day to listen, or to write into the show, or even to come and chat with us in Discord, because we really appreciate all of you taking that time to spend with us. We really appreciate it. Alright, we'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you in episode 52, the last one for season 1. See you later.
Bye.